All right, folks, this is going to be a video demonstrating how to get your armor from this level of rust to nice, bright, and shiny and rust-free in a reasonable amount of time for extremely low cost. We're only going to be using 3 things today. We're using Ballistol. This is the gold standard for rust protection. It is also a leather treatment, so it's going to be good for the leather on your armor as well, so you're not going to be causing any damage there. This stuff smells like kind of spicy licorice. It's not a great smell, I'll be honest with you, but in terms of protection per dollar, you're not going to find a better solution. And I am trying right now to save you as much money as possible. My deruster right here is going to be a sanding block. You'll find these in the drywall section of any hardwoods or hardware store. You'd use this to scrape off any excess like lumps and divots and nooks and crannies on your drywall that's stopping it from looking nice and flat and smooth. These are maybe $1, $2 in the hardware store. They sell them in 5-packs. Usually I'll get a 5-pack and then I'll just drop off all the extra ones at the HEMA school so that they've got plenty of blocks to clean their weapons with. It's almost no cost. And then last, something to hold your Ballistol in. This is just from my work. I'm a locksmith, so we have all kinds of weird little key rings and stuff like that, and they come in these little buckets. That's my Ballistol oil in there, and a paintbrush. There's a lot of ways to wipe it on. A lot of people use a rag. Gets all over your hands, gets all over your stuff. The rag absorbs it all, and then it becomes really hard to work with, and you don't really know how much you're applying. You use a paintbrush, those fibers get right into those weird little nooks and crannies. That's why I'm showing you on gauntlets today, because they're notoriously hard to clean and get into. And so we begin. I want you to understand how much better this is than just about any other derusting method that I've come across. I've used wire brushes. I've used, sanding stuff on the ends of drill bits and wire brushes on the ends of drill bits. I've used just about everything, and I hate to say it, but a sanding block just seems to do the trick better than just about any easy solution. And this cost me $2. A good DeWalt drill set is going to cost you somewhere around like $180. So here you go. Watch. You saw how fast that rust disappears. Tell me you're going to do that with a wire brush on a drill head. I guarantee you you're not. Another benefit of these is because they've got these nice little corners, I can get under the joints in my gauntlet I can get right up along those rivets and even underneath them to some degree if there's space, which means I'm getting the parts that hold the armor together as protected as possible, as quickly as possible. Now, for those of you that are real armor enthusiasts, you will notice my gauntlets are cheap AF. There's a good reason for that, and that reason is I am poor. Also, if you want to know how a poor man like me gets armored up, I went through GS Studios out of Poland, and we got a little bit of a discount. Not a huge discount, but a respectable one. Whenever my entire team went in and ordered Briggs a full set of armor from them, and they basically gave us the gauntlets almost for free. They were so cheap to get the armor whenever we bought them in bulk like that. So if you got 4 or 5 guys that all need kit, you're all trying to figure out an economical way to do that, I have to say their brigs are incredible. They cover a lot lower than a lot of other brigs, which means our hips are pretty well protected. I have to say, if you think about that triangle of speed, quality, and price, and you only get to pick two, you're definitely going to get quality and price out of GS Studios. Now, they're not trying to be Master Yuli and create works of art. They want to get people safe and armored quickly and at a decent price. And they are absolutely accomplishing that. The gauntlets move really well. They're kind of lightweight. It's not something I'd want to take into a melee where I'm trying to block halberd blows with my forearm or something like that. But they absolutely got us safe into a position where we can absolutely get work done and train and fight. Now, I don't know if you're keeping track of time here, but that's the entire exterior of my gauntlet. It's pretty much done here. And I haven't even finished my sales pitch about how good GS Studios armor is for the price. And now I'm just getting what I can. I don't want to disassemble everything today and take out the glove. So I don't feel like doing a bunch of rivets today, but that is going to be happening in the future. But you can see how easily this thing just takes off the rust. Now, you would not believe that was the same gauntlet less than 5 minutes ago. Everything here is looking spick and span. Let's get this little edge here. It's always easy to forget those edges. Pulling it. You know, if you pull a little bit, sometimes you'll be able to see stuff that normally won't be visible. So let's just see what we can get here. There's not much rust going on inside there. I think I already did that a little bit. Yeah. Now, why is my kit so rusty? Well, we had a fight in Gainesville, and it rained on us. So that was some real mud dog wrestling out there with these Titan weights, throwing them around and getting thrown around on our horse stall mats. All right, we're going to get on to our next portion here. Now, I do like to just wipe off any of that excess rust because I don't want it trapped under the oil. Just a real quick wipe with my rag. Nothing crazy because I know the oil's going to do a good job. But, you know, try to get all that stuff off if you can. And yeah, see, it's a little bit darker and blacker. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera there to try to keep you all in focus. And now, here's my ballistol and my paintbrush. Dip, dip, dip. Make sure you soak it in there for a couple of seconds so it has time to really absorb that oil. Wipe off the excess because you don't want it just dripping all over the place, making a big mess. This stuff doesn't smell great. I'm gonna put the lid right back on there because I really don't like the smell of this. And now you're gonna see just how good this paintbrush is at getting my protectorant into all of those edges. See, I can go all the way up in there. You can see the fibers of the brush going inside those cracks. I get really good coverage. And you can see this brush holds a surprising amount of oil. Last time I did this on the other gauntlet, I only needed to dip my brush one time. Get inside that gauntlet too, since that thumb's coming out anyway. Take advantage. And once again, my fibers can go up in there. I'd like to see your rag do that easily. So I'm getting really good inside those joints. And you see how far that oil spreads because we just need the tiniest little sheen. We don't need a ton of oil on there. That's another reason why you want to put a lid on your bucket. I don't know if you heard that, but I just knocked my ballistol oil over. And if I didn't have a lid on that, that'd be a real bad time. My poor locksmith shop would smell like burnt licorice for the rest of its days. Here we are, painting the inside. I can get all the way up to those rivets and inside them even. And what I want to do is I want to smooth that oil out because I want it as thin as possible, but I'm not really going to rub any off because, you know, a little extra protection is not going to hurt anybody. A little extra lubrication inside those joints, never a bad idea. I can get inside those kind of weird cracks. Let's get that brush in there. And I'm even going to go so far as to rub some on my leather here, because it does treat the leather, helps it stop from cracking, makes it last a little bit longer, just with any excess oil that I've got. I'm just going to get that in there. And that, my friends, is a pretty darn good derusting. This video is just a shy over 10 minutes long. I did the derusting in about 5 minutes, and I did the oiling in less than 5. And that's how to get your gauntlet nice and clean. And as you can tell, that's going to work great on just about any other piece of armor. Gauntlets being some of the harder parts. Maybe the helmet's a little harder too. So, I don't care if you like, comment, or subscribe, but definitely share it with your friends if they need it. If they, you know, have some curiosities about how to take care of your armor on the cheap. 1 tub of ballistol oil is going to last years. Get yourself a paintbrush, cheap-ass little sanding block from the drywall section of your hardware store. I can't stress this enough. This really is the best product. And y'all have a safe time out there fighting, and rock on.